Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Cumberbatch, Davis, Parkinson, Ali, Akhtar, Lindsay, Novak and Ahmed. We're looking at 2010's Four Lions.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of your favourite film podcast, 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, my name's Planty, and I've got Batty Chebs.
And I'm the other guy, John, and I'm a big fat pleb because I've been eating all the chocolate this Christmas.
Ah, Christmas
Oh,
chocolate.
the chocolate.
John, how are you this
Oh, they're beautiful,
kind of
seeing
just
you.
about still festive season if you're listening to this?
I know, they're still showing Christmas films, so I'm still classing it as Christmas.
I haven't watched a Christmas film since Christmas Eve, you know.
What?
Yeah, we've moved on to grim horrors that I bought Rachel on Blu-ray for Christmas, and Furiosa last night, Furiosa, which I got for Christmas. It's brilliant. It's such good fun.
Well, I got a remastered copy of Hotel Paradiso, but I'm going to watch Zoltan before that, though.
Jesus Christ. You're...
Zoltan!
I never thought I'd say this. I honestly feel for your wife's sanity. What a double bill that is. For a second or two, I thought you were saying Cinema Paradiso, and I couldn't have loved you enough, and then I realised this is you. It's never going to be Cinema Paradiso.
It's Rick the Prick.
Rick the Prick. Yes, this week we are doing a Patron's Choice. Thank you very much to the person that is on the end of the line. It's like the radio, isn't it? Who's on the end of the line?
The lucky winner.
Well, yeah. Well, someone's lucky. I don't think it's us. And that is a fantastic patron and now long-term friend of the podcast, James. James, how are you?
Hello. I'd like everybody else. No fucking idea what day of the week it is.
It's
and
so
everyone,
confusing.
if you're like me, everyone knows exactly what you're like. They've just bought you booze, which then doesn't help.
No.
I feel like I've got early onset dementia or something.
Yep, no, definitely.
It feels like the people that should be saving you from the booze are actually making
Throwing
it
you
worse.
to the wolves.
Yeah, you know what this does to me, and yet here we are every year.
Yeah, absolutely. James, you don't have to tell these people where you're from. I'm pretty sure they'll know, but there's maybe one or two people that are listening to this episode specifically and have never listened to the podcast. So tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, Hallmark of Greatness. Here is its special ambassador as well as humble patron. Hallmark of Greatness. If you like listening to, I don't know why you'd like listening to me, but if you like listening to Planty and you like listening to Joe, who's been on this before, and tons of other places as well. It's Joe's special rodeo. Me and Mark are just there for the ride.
Which the rodeo clowns is. That's what we are.
You're the fodder, just the fodder.
And we tend to do Hallmark films. Remember when we used to do Hallmark films? And then
those really tame, especially holiday films. You might be watching them this time of year, really.
Yeah. So we've just done The Merry Gentleman. Jesus, I'd forgotten about that. And Hot Frosty, which are two Netflix
Christmas
you've seen
them.
films. Yeah, if you've seen
them on Netflix. They've been pumping them into everyone's algorithms, haven't they? So.
Yeah. Well, Merry
Anyway,
Gentleman,
we get together, we
algorithms.
discuss those. Discuss them. We come up with some facts from them, so very similar to this. Also reviews that deranged people on the internet have written about the films. Yeah. It's a good laugh. And if you like this, then there's a good chance you probably like that.
Yeah, there's a decent Venn diagram of our podcast and your podcast that kind of matches. I'm not going to say it's the best podcast. You are in the eye of that
Venn diagram.
Yeah, it's just me. It's me and my wife that listen. And I'm not saying that it's the best podcast I'm on a weekly basis, but it's certainly in the top one. Sorry, John. John's leaving. John's storming out. He's going to start a podcast with David. Is David Tennant cut out instead?
Hey, I'll bring him back, don't you? I'll bring him back. He's looking in the corner.
Lurking.
Waiting in the wings.
Like a Shakespearean villain.
Like he's in the Blair Witch. Fantastic. James, we spun the wheel. You pay £1. James pays £1 every month, and he's going to get the chance to pick one. So we spun the wheel. His name came up last, most recently. And he's picked a film for us. If you want to do that, you can do. Just go to 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk or patreon.com/100thingsfilm. Oh, you picked a doozy. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yeah, it's believe it's 2009's Four Lions. I don't know. When you spun the wheel, I felt like this change in the air. It was the weirdest thing. You didn't even need to tell me about it. I don't think I could access the thing at the time, the Patreon thing, to see who had won. But I somehow instinctively knew, and I started compiling this long list of films that we could have done.
How long a list, out of interest? Because we've got a really... I shared our list with you last year when you came on to Talk Police Academy. And we have a really long list now. It's huge. It's like 78.
Just a mental list. No, not that long. But since Police Academy, I've been thinking of ideal types that could fit into this thing.
Okay.
And sometimes you just go out and do it. Like the Addams Family was a shout. It's just like a pure piece of...
we had so much fun with that again.
It.
And there's so much kind of going on that's of a time as well that you can use. And I think this kind of to a slightly lesser extent.
This is later, yeah. But it was top of my list just because I think I've watched it so much this year. I rewatched it. So I'm from Sheffield, near Sheffield. I say Sheffield because it sounds less grim than where I'm actually
yes,
from.
that's right, yeah.
As a lot of people do. Four Lions filmed a lot in Sheffield. I think there's a lot of I don't know if some of the production company was based there. I remember going on my way to work constantly and seeing a poster of this in the window. This and another film. So I was always thinking about it, and my brother eventually gave me a DVD of it, which narrows this down in time to exactly when I watched it. And I rewatched it recently because it's on a streaming platform. Remembered how much I loved it, how much I wanted my wife to see it, so I had to get her to see it as well.
How did that
And then rewatching it back for this, a joy. Oh, an absolute joy. Yeah, she loved it. Just right her sense of humour. It's such a perfectly crafted film.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Well.
Yeah, it's good.
John, you've a relationship with in fact, it's one of probably the only film we've ever watched together. I think.
Yeah.
Which is funny considering we've done 160 episodes of this.
That's cute.
So weird.
It's cute.
But it was good because obviously it lets you know who you're dealing with as a partner in a podcast. If you don't get this film, take it too literally or read something else into it, there's something wrong with it. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Absolutely. I saw it when it came out on DVD, when you back in the days when you rented DVDs, with your wife, John, Kirsty. Me Kirsty, and our pal Jim watched it.
Yeah, she loves it.
And it was if you've only seen it once, I think you've got to sit and watch it again. I know that sounds probably like you're throwing a little bit in that, but you've got to watch it again.
The hate for Brother Barry grows though.
No.
The hate for Brother Barry grows every time I watch it though. At first I let it go and it started to really get to me.
Yeah, you kind of think you get away with it because he's funny, but there's almost three levels to Barry. There's the comedy stuff. There's the fact that he's a shit. And then there's the deep-rooted sexual abuse stuff, which I think I kind of only picked up the last time I watched it before I watched it twice for this. So fucking hell.
Grand. But we'll get to that.
All the patterns are laid out before you, isn't it?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right, John, 2009.
Ooh, are we going 2009 or 2010?
US release 2010. Go 2010 if you want.
Okay, because there's a lot better things in 2010. Okay. A lot
Go
better.
for it.
We'll start with The Shite. So, The Shite is the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which was a pointless piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, now he's everyone's upset because now he's a child molester or something, although he always was, question mark?
Well, no. The Wolfman, the one with Anthony Hopkins.
Mate, no.
I know, it had so much gone for it and then it fucked right up. Predators, which I really like.
Predators is okay. It's got a fun kind of group of people in it, including Topher Grace, who was like the main bad guy in it. Not a predator.
Who knew? Lost Boys, The Thirst.
I haven't seen any of them.
The Frog Brothers. Well, one Frog Brother. Ned's.
Frogging.
Oh, Ned's. Went to the cinema. Yeah, Frog Brother. I went to the cinema to see Ned's. Yeah.
Submarine and Book of Eli.
Oh yeah. Spoilers, it's the Bible.
I know. Just wanted to be Mad Max, didn't it? A wee bit.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. Right. Okay. Fantastic. Good stuff, James. I'm pretty sure I can see in the background there you've brought some hunking piece of machinery in with you. What the hell is that?
I've brought a special device with me that does random plots. So if you're familiar with Hallmark of Greatness, you'll be familiar with... Well, actually, I've had to change the name of it because Joe's taken a patent out on it. So it's today called The Gyrating Blurb Warrior of Effervescence. And I put into it 4 lines and it came out with a Hallmark-esque... Actually, it's not Hallmark-esque anymore because it's just been corrupted by us. Brenda 4 is a simple village policewoman who finds herself having to liberate the city of Danzig from Glen Danzig, or else the royal wedding will be postponed. Things really get going when Brenda encounters Toby Lyons, a doctor who has strong views on the Flemish. Things become complicated.
What the hell?
Things become complicated when her ex Larry comes back on the scene, in the scene where he makes a scene, and the two of them become thick as thieves. Will they do the locomotion? Yes, definitely.
Jesus, do the locomotion is a reference to last week's Trading Places.
Exactly.
Kind of. It
is not based on that at all. It was just in there, and it's
so
worked
weird.
its way to the surface.
The machine did it.
The machine knew.
did it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Oh, fuck.
You've got to cut that out of the way, it's too big.
Yeah,
Sometimes a machine.
go on, lads, take it away.
Take it away.
Fantastic. If you want more of that nonsense, usually with me and Joe absolutely corpsing at it, then feel free to listen to more Hallmark Greatness. Right. So, as I said at the top of the show, we're the podcast. Try to learn 100 things. So we're going to go through loads of spoilers, loads of stuff. Now, trigger warning, this is about men blowing themselves up, right? This film's about men blowing themselves up. Trigger warning? Question mark? Maybe not. But
Content warning.
yes, there you go. If you're listening to this because, quote unquote, brown man bad, fuck off, right? That's not what this is, right? If you are listening to this because you like cutting satirical comedy, I don't know what the fuck you're listening to this for, but you know, that's what the film is. That's what the film is, and it is very cutting, and it is also very knowledgeable. So, one final warning: I have tried to be as respectful as I can here with some of this stuff.
Yeah,
and I am relying on the internet. All of us are relying on the internet to tell us what things are. So, if we say something that isn't true, drop us a DM and all that, and you know, thanks for enlightening us. Yep. But as best I could find out, this is all true. Question mark about the Islamic faith and our brave soldiers of the Mujahideen.
I think there's that. There's also some of the language that comes up in it. I don't know.
I have avoided almost all of that. Yeah, I threw one in at the beginning because I thought, you know, I've got to reference it somewhere.
Yeah, I know some people, because I know how people sort of react to things like this, but I know of people that are deeply traumatised from living through the 70s and 80s and being called certain slur words, which are used liberally throughout this. Mm-hmm. As I understand it, though, Chris Morris researched a lot of the dialogue for this, talked to a lot of people in drawing up this, and it's authentic to what people might say in those communities. Yeah. So I'm not going to be saying it. I don't know if you
just watch it.
Are going to dare to say it. If you're quoting it, I suppose that's all right on a level. But I don't know if certain terms are out there.
James, I grew up in Bradford, and I'm not saying half these things.
Yeah.
Out of just sheer respect, you know. Out of sheer respect, I just wouldn't. I'm pretty sure when I listen to somebody else's podcast on the episode, once we've recorded it, because I always do that just to see what other people are doing, but not until after we've recorded, I'm pretty sure I will hear a white person say something like that. Just like the Trading Places American men, white men podcast that said, I sent you the clip, didn't I, John? That said, I don't think there's anything wrong with Dan Aykroyd blacking up. Okay, white men in 2023. Thanks for that.
Hot take.
Yeah, nasty review on iTunes from me. Anyway, let's get on to it, shall we?
Go.
So, we open with these 4 blokes in a flat making a video. Okay.
Yep.
We've got Omar, Barry, Waj, and Faisal. You know each and every one of these actors from something
They
different.
went on to do great things. Honestly, everybody in here's actually went on to do some cool shit.
Some much better than others.
Yeah,
Some
true
much,
that.
much better than others. Faisal, we're looking at you, who would turn up to the opening of a crisp packet if he thought there was a couple of quid in it for you. But no, joking aside, he's in loads of fucking stuff. Waj is there. Hey up, you unbelieving Kafur bastards. Which is possibly the greatest opening line of any film ever made.
True that.
Question mark. Kafar is an Arabic term for disbeliever. There you go.
Yep.
There's our first kind of lesson.
Cool.
Just in the screenplay to this, Waj is described as being built like a fridge, which I
Oh,
quite
was he
liked.
really? All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice.
He is not built like a fridge. In fact, if anything, he's like a gangly
No,
guy. You know, and he's the phone jacker.
he's quite tall, I suppose. He's got that going for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the phone jacker,
He
and
is,
also he's what's his name? Nandor the
Yeah,
Relentless.
fuck you,
Because he does not
guy.
relent.
He's a fucking
That's
vampire.
right.
Motherfucking vampire.
We're just partway through the last series of What We Do in the Shadows, and it's fallen off a cliff for not giving a shit. You know, they obviously know they've been cancelled, including an episode where it's just the Warriors, but with vampire gangs and them trying to escape from
Love
them.
it.
It's
Oh, I'm gonna
it's
watch that.
brilliant. It's very good. Yeah, New York City. He's holding this replica AK-47, which is just that little bit too small.
I can buy it. I found it. It's a miniature. It's a 1:3 scale. It's in the Royal Army's Museum, and it's £39.99.
Oh, right, okay. I found an 82 centimetre long Army Force AK-47 assault rifle toy gun, John, toy gun, with light, sound and vibration, ooh la la, for her pleasure. $24.99 from Bezos' massive warehouse.
Army Force. Army Force.
Can I just go back to where, John, you said that it was in the Royal Armouries Museum? Gift shop, presumably.
Gift shop. Yeah.
Trip to Leeds. Has it got Wadge's
What's that?
face on it? Has it got Kayvan Novak's
I wish it
signature?
did. I really wish it did. Does anybody want one?
Look, if you're buying...
I'm doing the run.
You know me. I always come out with something that is just so fucking, like, obtuse, it hurts. If you're in 2024, 25, buying children guns as presents, fuck you. You're the problem. There you go. That's what I got to say about that. It's his hands. He says it's his hands. And getting to the closer will bigger it.
But
I didn't catch that.
It'll bigger
There's
it.
always little stuff in this bit, because you look at the dialogue and actually there's so much that you kind of miss. But there's that bit about, we've got to get this before the battery goes.
All
and
the
you see
time
the camera
before-
later on
Yep.
plugged in, pointed.
Yeah, and because it's such an old camera, like we used to do on my stepmom's, the battery would go in fucking minutes if it wasn't plugged in. So you get just like small clips of stuff. Perspective is the way objects appear smaller when they're further away. The way parallel lines appear to meet each other at a point in the distance. Now, Dougal, these automatic rifles are small, whilst these ones are very far away.
far away.
Omar's watching the video with his wife, Sophia, and he's talking. And as he's watching the video, he's watching himself talk about capitalist world, likening it to having a Big Mac. Waj, flipping idiots. Should have gone Chicken Cottage, fully halal, bargain bucket, $6.99. Just perfect.
67 outlets of the UK, by the way. just so you know.
67 Chicken Cottages,
go.
is it? All right,
Yep.
okay.
I've never tried one. I've never tried it.
They're hoping to expand to 100 stores by 2027. There you go. I have
I
been.
think there's a chicken cottage in Bury, I'm sure.
There is. Yeah, that was what I saw on the list. Joe, go and review that for us.
I'm sure I've been to it at some point.
Yeah, I've been to the one in Bradford.
In the early hours.
I've been to the one in Bradford. The first Chicken Cottage store was opened in 1994 in Wembley, North London. There you go. Fezzel's wearing a box over his head because images are haram. Right.
Yes.
So, images are haram. It's daft. At one point, drawing the Prophet, you can't draw the Prophet Muhammad because that's haram. Okay, and images have been haram, and yeah, but like people still draw. You know, there is still members of Islam that draw. Simple as that. But this whole wearing the box thing keeps coming up. The plan is for them to go to a training camp in Pakistan. Omar's job is security. Where, James?
Oh, in Meadowhall.
Meadowhall, yeah.
Meadowhall, Sheffield.
Yep. A lot of this shot in there, isn't it? A fair bit of the beginning into it.
I assume
Most
you've
of my
been,
youth
James.
was spent in Meadowhall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the largest shopping centre in Yorkshire.
Oh.
That's not very hard.
It's got the largest women's section of lingerie, so I hear. Jesus, this is just Father Ted cast now.
I know.
Yes. It's currently the 12th largest in the United Kingdom.
Oh, right.
It's actually, at the time it opened about 1990. The people of Rotherham and Sheffield did not like Meadowhall. It's like credited with like destroy the local economy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stories about it.
Yeah, closed down the city basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, big shopping centre. It's got everything that you'd expect in there. And Omar is a security guard there.
Omar works. We think he's only just started. Because his mate Matt.
He's entry level.
Yeah, he's entry level. Yeah, his mate Matt says to him, I thought you were serious about this. Haram, gentlemen, is forbidden or prohibited by Islamic law. Okay. So, James, with that in mind, I've got a little mini quiz for you. Might as well get it out of the way nice and early. Yeah. So, I am going to name you 3 things, and you need to tell me if they are haram or not. So if they're not allowed or if they are allowed. So if they're haram means...
Harong.
Oh, there you go.
That's
it. Are they haram or are they harite?
Harong.
Can we get that as like a klaxon of 3 countries? That's perfect.
So, number 1. Interlocking your hands during prayer at mosque. Is it haram or is it haram?
Ooh, So I did try and read some stuff on this for facts, and I'm pretty sure there's a very specific thing about placing your hand somewhere on you, or if you're a woman, I think it has to be like in the middle of your chest. So I'm going to say yes, that is prohibited.
Okay. So Al-Timirdi stated, the hadith indicates that interlocking fingers is disliked from the time one goes out to mosque for prayer, and it indicates that the reward for one who prays is recorded for the one who leaves his house until he returns it. There you go. So correct.
There you go. Research works, kids. Pick up a fucking book.
Put down the iPad, which James used to find out these facts, and pick up a book. Number 2, eating or drinking from silver or gold. Is it haram to eat or drink from silver or gold?
I'm going to say that it doesn't stipulate on that.
Okay. It is haram. In Muslim 2065, which is a chapter of the Quran, Salman reported, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whoever drinks from a vessel of gold or silver has only filled his stomach with the fire of hell.
Oh.
When you said 2065, I thought that was like a Blade Runner thing. In the future.
In the future, you won't be right now. You could.
In the future,
yeah, exactly.
In the future,
my golden plate is fine.
Chicken Cottage won the takeaway wars, won the fast food wars. So now every posh restaurant's Chicken Cottage in it. And finally, is it haram or not, James, to pour boiling water down your drains?
Oh, that's very niche.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, what if the... I'm going to say yes, because... yes, it is allowed because of ants. How else would you get rid of it?
You want ants? You should read the Quran, that's how you get ants. Unfortunately, James, it is haram. It is haram.
I'm seeing a theme here.
And this is... I'm glad you're both sitting down, because this is going to blow you away. Listeners, pull over if you are driving. Ibn Baz, the former Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, said jinn may harm humans, but it's usually because of something done by the human, such as throwing a heavy object or pouring hot water without saying Bismillah. So watch out. As we all know, jinns, from watching Wishmaster, are evil little genies who grant wishes, and they live in your drains, apparently. So watch out.
Right if you say something first?
Andrew Davidoff, or whatever he's called, will come and get you. Yeah, if you say Bismillah first, you're all right. So basically, listen to that one particular bit of Bohemian Rhapsody. And you'll be all right.
If you hadn't said it, I would.
Anyway, right. That was fun. You got 2 out of 3, which, as Meatloaf said, That's not bad. Matt's a runner. You know he runs because it's his only bit of his fucking life. He bangs on about it over and over again. You know you can talk to your legs, don't you? Bullshit, you can't talk to your legs. Well, I mean, you can, but they don't listen. Mine certainly don't.
God,
Mine
yes.
certainly didn't listen when I told them to not go to the fridge about 20 minutes before we started recording. Omar has an email from his uncle Imran, wedding in 2 days. Barry's explains to the boys that the feds can track their phones even if they're turned off, so you need to eat your SIM. My dad says being on camera is haram, says Fazl. He says, your dad eats newspaper. Not anymore. He eats moss.
Yeah.
Which,
I
as we
didn't
learn...
catch that the first time because it's just said so naturally.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
and the withering look that Barry gives him and just makes a grunting noise as if to say the same thing. But again, I think we learn that Fazl's father has got some real serious mental health problems. Because there's a bit later on, I need to be close to my dad because he's seeing monsters that aren't there.
Yeah. So not appearing in this film. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just as well.
There's got to be one. There's a really good zoom shot into this house as well. I think it's this bit.
Yeah,
They do a couple of times.
Which is
that's
just
pretty good.
over Tinsley, real sort of area close to Meadowhall. So it's all location shot. At this point, it's all location shot in the right place.
Yeah.
And you can sort of, I think the idea is that you can see that in the landscape that they're not far away, sort of thing. And I've got a Tinsley fact.
Ooh.
If anyone wants
Yeah,
it.
please.
Nobody wants it. Nobody even lives there. Tinsley is the name of the suburb derived from the Old English Tingers Lea, which means field of council, cognate with thing, meaning an assembly, and Lee, the dialectal word for meadow. It's known actually for being the bit between Rotherham and Sheffield. It's like the interzone.
Oh right, okay.
Right.
Not the
buffer zone.
interzone, which is a Hallmark of Greatness film that we did.
Yes. Yeah. Go back and
Yeah,
listen to it.
go and search. Yeah, go onto your
Nice link.
podcast of choice and then search interzone.
This has got fewer Italians in it.
Omar arrives. He tells Barry that they can still be tracked inside your body. He tells the boys that they're going to Pakistan.
Can they though?
Yeah, no, they apparently can't. It's bullshit.
That's all right then.
It needs an aerial and it needs some power.
It needs power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just so that nobody swallows a SIM card because.
Well, it's easy now because they're tiny, but back then they were proper
I know, but
sized SIM
the
cards.
idea that people watch it and go, man, they can track SIM cards and people swallowing SIM cards, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But no, you can't track a SIM card without power.
He tells the boys they're going to Pakistan. Barry's upset, but as he points out, Barry, you don't have an uncle in Pakistan. He says you can either be a stupid nutter who blows a bag of nails into his guts in a toilet in TGI's, or you can be a proper soldier of the Mujahideen. I have got some TGI toilets facts. No, just some TGI facts. First TGI Fridays opened in 1965 in Manhattan. And this is from the creator of TGI Fridays Wikipedia page that I found. For some reason I haven't put his name down. In a neighbourhood with many airline stewardesses, fashion models, secretaries and other young single women on the east side of Manhattan near the Queensborough Bridge, he hoped opening a bar would help him meet women.
Bloody hell, that's creepy.
We're doing it.
Stillman's choices for socialising were non-public cocktail parties or guys' beer drink hangout bars that women usually would not visit. He recorded there was no public place for people between, say, 23 to 27 years old to meet. He sought to recreate the comfortable cocktail party atmosphere in public, despite having no experience in the restaurant business.
Well done,
I'm going to make my own place with blackjack and Manhattans.
Yes, please. What have I done to offend you, such I have such as flat and flavourless Manhattan?
So, what was his name again? Chris Evans? Was it? Fucking hated that show, man.
Oh, no, I quite liked it. I just didn't like him.
True.
Jesus, Billy, why do you want to play that song so loud? Anyway. Barry basically is a liability, we learn here. And he's like, most of the lines I've written down are either him or Wadj. They've got the best lines.
Yes.
I'm the invisible
Wadj
jihadi.
crackers.
They seek him here, they seek him there, but he's not here. He's blowing up your slag sister.
The other thing to note is that he does resemble you quite strongly.
Right,
It's like
so,
he's here.
When I was training manager at Sky in Derby, which our culture had loads and loads of Muslim lads. They would all call me Brother Barry all the time, in spite of the fact my dad's name was Barry, not me. But yeah, it was always, Brother Barry, and it kind of became a thing I just lent into, except without the blowing up slag sisters.
Yeah.
And Jaffa oranges, but we'll come to those. Spark plugs.
Peas and Jap pies.
And he's so this guy is white. The line that they use a little bit later on, his Muslim name, his taken Islamic name is Azam al-Brittani, which, God, I am telling you, that is the next step for fucking Stephen Lennox fucking Yaxley, isn't it? That's Tommy Robinson's next step, is to go, fuck it, I'm going all the way and I'm just going to become an Islamist.
So isn't there someone that this is based on?
A BNP guy who accidentally radicalised himself reading the Quran in a bid to try and understand ways that the Quran was promoting the wrong stuff. Yeah, Chris Morris said in this I've read a little bit of this mini interview thing. That's what he said, but he mentioned no names, which is a shame because those people deserve it.
He's not got an uncle in Pakistan. He's got an uncle in Folkestone.
Yeah, he's got an uncle in Folkestone.
Is there any train camps there?
No, but I think there's somewhere that you have to park your van before you can take it on the ferry, isn't there? Barry baked a cake of the Twin Towers and delivered it to the synagogue on 9/11. And he says, hiding in plain sight. Fuck off.
Jesus.
It's just awful.
Barry drives him to the airport, Robin Hood Airport, by the way, which has always wound me the fuck up, being a man from Nottingham.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
good catch.
Yeah. Robin Hood Airport. Is it Doncaster? Robin Hood Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
But Robin or Loxley, it could be anywhere.
Right,
loads of people claim him.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think as far north as Wakefield as well claims him. I think.
Robin of fucking Wakefield. No, not having that.
Robin of Whitby.
Barry drives a 1998 Citroen Xantia LX.
Jesus,
I thought you'd get that.
Falling to bits, John, isn't it?
It really is.
Omar, he says he's going. When Omar tells him no, he pulls over in a lay-by and swallows the car key, which is no mean feat considering he's just swallowed a SIM card as well. I mean, he'll be saying no to the aeroplane food. They grab him, frog him, put him in the boot, and he puts his head through the bit with the armrest thing, which was a real reminder for me that was a thing in cars.
I've still got one.
Have you really? Does your armrest come down and there's a hole into
It's just a wee square. But do you know what it's for? My skis. It's a Volvo, so it's for skis. I googled it and it's for my skis.
You've never skied in your life.
Aye.
I thought it was just a disincentive to getting a hostage in your boot.
Very skinny hostage.
He tells them they'll get arrested and fed Viagra before being forced to fuck a dog. You'll end up on YouTube blowing Lassie in a ditch.
There's some awful dialogue in it. They'll crack you like baby's fingers.
Fingers, yeah.
Hell.
Oh, God. That's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. Lassie, there have been 13 Lassie films since 1943, gentlemen, and inexplicably a PS2 game in 2005.
Oh, wow.
Which I absolutely
Why are we not doing Lassie 13?
Which I absolutely
watched. When she gets stuck on the moon.
Is she going up there to save Laika?
Aye.
Communist dog references. These
very dead dog.
Yes.
Oh, the last one. Lassie goes to a home.
According to writer Nigel Clark in The Shipwreck Guide to Dorset and South Devon, the original Lassie that inspired so many films and television episodes was a rough-haired crossbreed who saved the life of a sailor during World War I.
There you
go. There's much more to that story.
So it was related to seamen.
Really long.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Omar threatens Barry that if he buys any more silver nitrate off Amazon while they're away, he's going to rip his beard plugs out, which I kind of liked because he can't even grow a beard. I like that a lot. Silver nitrate, gentlemen, chemical formula AgNO3. Albertus Magnus, I think he's out of Harry Potter, in the 13th century documented the ability of nitric acid to separate gold and silver by dissolving the silver. So you could obviously eat your dinner off those plates then. Repeated daily application of silver nitrate can induce adequate destruction of cutaneous warts. Apparently.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, but I couldn't quite find.
I always wondered.
Couldn't quite find out exactly how you make a bomb out of it because there were certain things I wasn't going to Google.
Yeah.
No, but you realise that you are on a watch list.
I am on so many different
as we
lists.
all are now.
So many different lists. Yeah. In Pakistan, which was actually India, was the filming location.
Yeah, Hyderabad.
Yeah, that's right.
Supposed to be Rawalpindi.
Oh right,
City
okay.
of Rawalpindi.
Yeah.
Third largest city in the Pakistani province of Punjab. It's a back-to-back twin city with Islamabad, the capital, and is home to their GHQ of the Pakistani army, and I think like an air force base, and it's where like the actual seat of power is what I understood.
Oh right, okay.
It's not far, and this is foreshadowing in two ways, really. It's not far from the Abbottabad compound Bin Laden was later founded in 2011.
Oh, wow. Right, okay.
Yeah.
They called it.
It's that
close,
sort of
isn't
end
it?
of town.
Yeah.
That's a Simpsons moment, that, isn't it?
Yeah, Four Lions called it. Yeah. In Pakistan, we see Waj has bought his prayer bear, which says his prayers
That's
for him
too
when he
funny,
gives it
man.
a squeeze.
I
Now,
love that.
this
did I.
never used to be a thing, and I know, John, because I once looked up for it on Kirsty's birthday. Years and years ago, I wanted to get her a prayer bear and get it sent to her.
Yep.
She's not getting one, but now they're real. You can buy a penny prayer bear. According to the Penny website, Penny are a charitable company. 100% of proceeds support Penny Appeals families and children's projects at home and abroad, and it's $29.99, and I love it. It's cute, it stands, it can sit, you squeeze it and it does the things. It's got it's so cute. Penny prayer bear. Man, if I was at that point in my life where I was still getting money for Christmas, I would have spent my Christmas money on one of these. It's fantastic. The prayer bear is so cute.
I also got facts about tuk-tuks because they arrive in the tuk-tuk.
Oh, they do arrive in a tuk-tuk, yeah.
Yeah. Its formal name is the auto rickshaw, also known as the three-wheel, baby taxi, bow bow, easy bike, Johnny B, lappa lappa, motor taxi, pigeon, tuxi, and tum tum.
Bloody hell. Sitting on a Australian biscuit.
Chocolate biscuit. Johnny B ride.
Yeah.
Johnny
Can
B
only
moving.
assume. I'm not getting into anything called a baby taxi.
No, she's not.
You crack like a baby taxi.
Oh,
Anybody want a baby ride? No, thank you.
no.
Baby driver indeed. This is the bit, and I love this. I think this a lot, and I say this kind of semi-regularly when I say this is the rabbit chicken bit, where the guy from the camp goes through Wadgy's things. He finds a book called The Cat That Went to Mecca.
Yep, real book.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's a real book because of this. I couldn't find out,
Yeah.
but I did find it for
yeah.
$3 on an American website.
I've got the same one.
Yeah.
I've got the same fact. Yep, I got it.
And if it
Got the
wasn't
same
American, I'd
Amazon
bought it.
basket.
Yeah, absolutely. But so many little kind of like children's, like my first Islam book, my first jihadi kind of stuff. It's really good. But I love this because he tells Omar he should be prepared to kill Wadgy if needs be. And he says, I wouldn't kill you. He says, do you want to be in the queue at Alton Towers or the rides? Do you want to be on Nemesis? And he says, yeah, Rubber Dingy Rapids.
Oh, so funny.
And Rubber
Just the
Dingy
way you
Rapids
said
has
it.
been such a huge part, I think, certainly of my just day-to-days words. I think about it. It must be daily. I think if I'm happy about something, I think Rubber Dingy Rapids all the time.
Is it a real Alton Towers ride?
Nope.
John, what have you got?
No, so I've looked for it. I can't find it anywhere. I just know it's the name of a company. There's a place called Rubber Dingy Rapids Limited, but it's
Of course there is.
not a ride.
Alton Towers opened to the public as grounds in the 1860s, and it wasn't until a century later that they started adding roller coasters and rides. There isn't a Rubber Dingy Rapids as far as I could tell, but I could find a Congo River Rapids, which sounds very similar. Opened in 1986 and is now the oldest ride in that park.
Oh, is it really?
After the closure of something called the Blade.
Oh,
fucking hell!
It sounded epic.
Not the sling blade. French fried potatoes.
Not the sword of Damocles. Where's that gone?
I think you have to smile.
Phil.
I think you have to do the smiler cutting that lass's leg
Yeah,
off.
it did. Yeah, I did. Well,
Blade.
I did a little bit on
Yeah.
Nemesis here, and I was like, I'm sure that killed a woman. It didn't. I've been to Alton Towers loads of times, and when I lived back in the Midlands, I must have gone like 3 times in the year and a half I lived back in the Midlands. I'm talking about 10 years ago now. And yeah, I've been on Congo River Rapids so many times. So many times. And it's a nice, easygoing thing to get absolutely fucking drenched and then you're wet all day through. The Nemesis opened on the 19th of March 1994. It is 716 metres long, 13 metres tall, and has a top speed of 50 miles an hour. Much similar to John.
Keep your shoes on, and both. As the guy said to me, just make sure you've tied your shoes.
Yeah, I lost money
shoes
out
at
of
the
the Nemesis. I had a pocket full of change when I went on the Nemesis. Lost the fucking
mate.
lot.
Everyone's done it once.
Yeah,
haven't they?
absolutely.
No, don't I?
There's this whole thing where he's going, look at you, fuck you, you fucked up rabbit with no ears. It's what the chickens, Wadge, the chickens.
It's just how vulnerable he is.
So
isn't it?
interesting.
I mean, it's two things. It's how vulnerable Wadge is, and it's also how manipulative Omar can be. He's really good.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. Very quick with turns of phrase, and also this idea that life is only transient. You're only in the queue. The good stuff is to come.
Yeah.
Boils it down so well, like scarily well.
Yeah, that's a really
So
really
getting
good
those.
point. Yeah, I've got something a little bit later on where I say Omar's a really good person, but he isn't. He isn't from the
They're
start.
all like that though. Apart from Brother Barry, who's a shithead. The rest of them,
everybody's
they've
got
all
redeeming
like,
features.
stuff.
Yeah, good things
You all
about them.
kind of want them to succeed, don't you?
Yeah.
They're all very well written. Even Fezzel's quite well written when you understand he's obviously got serious problems. Serious problems. He's like Wadge, but without the day-to-day being able to look after himself thing.
Sorry, just that bit he's using a different voice for getting his bleach.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, we'll absolutely come to that.
That's it. It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
They
Absolutely brilliant.
They arrive in the mountain for morning prayers. Wadge has an argument with the guy because he doesn't understand that they've flown over Mecca, so they need to pray to the west, not to the east. And he just doesn't get it. East's over there. He calls him a bairn chud, which is sister fucker, which I knew from being a kid. It was like a common insult in the school ground. Bairn chud all the time.
Yep. We had it in in Ibrox. When I moved to Ibrox, there was a big Asian community, and that's why they were called each other.
Jokes on them, my sister's fit. Not true. So I'm sorry, I don't mean that to insult my sister, but anyway. Just then a drone flies over and they hide. Omar picks up a rocket launcher and the main guy's like, no, too high. He's like, that's what I was thinking. What is it, 2,000 feet? And the guy gives him this withering look of, and he goes, what? And he goes, oh, nothing. It's not what he says. It's just the look of sheer, why have they sent these lads here?
Yeah. I looked up the Reaper. So the MQ-9 Reaper is a ceiling height of 50,000 feet, and more than 30,000 minutes carrying weapons.
Oh, is that the drone? Is that what's? Oh, wow! Right, okay.
It's a Reaper, yeah.
You know that because you played so much COD, isn't it? You played
Call of
so
Duty,
much Call of
baby.
Duty. That's how you know that.
Well, I looked up, meanwhile, the 84, which is the rocket launcher that he goes to pick up. It's actually not a rocket launcher at all. Strictly speaking, it says on Wikipedia, because the explosive warhead is not propelled by a rocket motor. Rather, it is a smoothbore, recoilless gun. It's Swedish, 84 millimeters, unguided, portable, disposable. And because of that, the name 84 is wordplay on the 84 millimeter caliber. So 84, nice. It's a homophone. So it's nice, isn't it? That,
it is.
Arms manufacturers have got a sense of humour.
Those Swedes. Those crazy Swedes.
Famous for blowing stuff up, the Swedes, aren't they?
The Malm experts,
It's very, very disappointing because I think, James, you were hoping that it fired bridges. I'm going to assume.
I knew you were going to bring that.
You knew
up.
the bridge,
Yeah.
the bridge gun was going to.
And you know what? I'm still disappointed.
I know you are. I know you are. Mecca is a city in Saudi and considered the holiest city in Islam. Every year, millions of Muslims take a pilgrimage to Mecca called the Hajj. They follow in the footsteps of Muhammad. All Muslims who are able to perform the Hajj are expected to do so at least once in their lives. Commercial planes typically fly at a cruising altitude of 30,000 to 42,000 feet, which is about 5.9 to 7.2 miles above the ground. Back in Sheffield, at this talk called Islam, Moderation and Progress, Neil's dad from The In-Betweeners is talking. He's not gay, of course.
Yes.
This is pains to tell us. Barry's having none of it. Oh yeah, a good Muslim keeps his mouth shut. In the audience, Hassan stands up. He's got a bomb strapped to him. He's got this rap. I'm the Mujahideen and I'm making a scene. Now you're going to know what the boom boom means. It's like Tupac said, when I die I'm not dead. We're the martyrs, you're just smashed tomatoes. It's not quite as good as Daheed at the end of the movie.
Daheed,
I laugh at Daheed a lot. He blows the bomb and it's just party poppers. Security show up and march him out. Barry's giving it the police state. Well stated. Outside he offers him a list. He goes, you're a piece of shit, mate. You're worse than the specialist rapists they employ in Guantanamo Bay. And he goes, yeah, I'm the Mujahideen and a thingy rap.
Yeah.
He says, did the Prophet smash the pagan statues or did he make a gesture? Muhammad did indeed smash pagan statues, gentlemen. After conquering Mecca, he destroyed the 360 images and statues in the Kaaba, including the statue of Hubal. He then dedicated the Kaaba to the Abrahamic god. Muhammad denounced the Qurayshis' practices and ordered the destruction of all idols, images, and effigies. Telling you now, I think Muhammad was badass.
Yeah.
Bit of a fan.
I mean, a lot of people sort of take that out of context. A lot of people smash the shit out of stuff that came there before.
Yeah.
That's by no means an outlier.
No, absolutely.
Particularly for that
No,
period.
Jesus turned up and started flipping tables and shit, didn't he? You know what I mean? Money
When you got
lenders.
to flip of the table,
Kind of
you flip of the table.
Indeed. Jesus, you're getting some mileage out of that one, John, aren't you?
Bloody right I am, big man.
He said, do you go to mosque? He goes, yeah, Friday prayers. He says, once a year's too often. The mosques have lost it. We've got women talking back and we've got people playing stringed instruments. Now, from the moment I saw this, I've always remembered we've got people playing stringed instruments bit. And I've never looked it up, in spite of the fact I've always thought that's a very interesting line. What is that? What's that got to be? There is a section in Prophet Muhammad did indeed forbid stringed instruments amongst other kinds. Generally speaking, music and singing was forbidden, except for certain kinds and on certain occasions. Reddit tells me that anyway. We'll see if it's true.
Yeah. That reference to the mosque being full of spies, I think, is a reference to prevent the counter-terrorism strategy first introduced under the Blair government in 2005. Prevent aims at reducing the threat of terrorism by preventing people from becoming or supporting terrorism, and there's a heavy emphasis on surveillance within the community, to put it one way.
Oh wow!
Highly controversial.
Yeah, I'm not getting right. I didn't know that. Barry hugs him and whispers, "Fuck you, Omar." Like he's got a real problem. At the camp, Wadge is filming himself with the real AK-47.
Oh,
big enough for you now, Barry? Am I blowing a dog in a ditch, or am I the P-word Rambo? which is fun. This bloke runs out, grabs the gun, starts yelling at him in Urdu. And again, something I think about all the time. It's, who do you think you are? James Fuck Bond.
Yeah. I'm going to start using that more.
I think
actually.
about it so, like, any time like Bond comes up in something, I think James Fuck Bond. He smashes his phone and says they won't meet, basically the Al-Qaeda boss. They're not going to get an emir. Back in Sheffield, Faisal takes Barry and Hassan to his lockup, which is absolutely rammed full of bleach and peroxide bottles. 3 years of stockpiling from the wholesaler down the road. And this is the bit you love, John.
Fucking brilliant.
This is the,
fucking brilliant.
you know.
So take us through it.
How did you get? How did you get so many? It's like I just use a different accent.
Yeah, different voice.
So it just talks in three exactly same accents.
He's
One of them's my voice.
Just so we're clear, one is
voice.
mine.
He wasn't like it wasn't in a dark room with helium. You know, he hadn't sucked some helium before he did it, like IRA voices used to be on the television.
Yeah. They're a terrorist vessel. What do you want to do a terrorist voice for? You get us nicked. But I'll be in disguise though, won't I? Yeah, but as a terrorist.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
A woman's voice, and he said, "Yeah, but you've got a beard." Oh yeah, but I covered my face, and it's the three different movements he makes to cover his face are so perfect.
Yeah.
And why has she got her hands on her face?
She's got a beard.
It's perfect.
It is. It's oh my god, it's so good. Back in the mountains, and the thing is, like you can see, like the thought process from him is, because he's really proud of this bit where he kind of says, "Yeah, she's getting peroxide to dye her hair," and you kind of like, I get that is like a little nugget of an idea. You're going to need to build on that, Faz, mate. You were absolutely going to have to do more. It's so good. Back in the mountains, Wadji's having an existential crisis, but Omar spots a drone. He says it's God's plan, it's their jihad. Omar grabs the rocket launcher, aims and fires, but...
Backwards.
blows at the arms. John, not the first film we've seen someone fire a rocket launcher backwards.
Yep, it was... Oh, that's annoying.
Absolute fan favourite. God, Jenny.
Oh God, Commando.
They make a run for it under this missile attack, and there's this bit where one goes off next to them, and Wad shouts, "I can't hear anything."
Yeah.
Back in Sheffield, Barry gets out the car and talks to this one with a pushchair. "Morning, officer. You've been rumbled."
That's too funny, man.
Faisal says he wants to put a bomb on a crow and fly it into a building full of slags and Jews.
Yeah.
Barry's idea is to bomb what, James?
Bomb the mosque.
Bomb the mosque, right? And
which he keeps going on
he
about.
is obsessed with this idea.
Aye, it proper is.
Because they'll think it's the unbelievers attacking. So all the Muslims will rise up and fight back.
Yeah.
Stoke things up proper big time. Fast track to the final days. Total war.
Yeah.
And I nearly did some Total War Googling then, but I didn't.
You didn't need to Google Total War. Come on, this is you. We know you.
Made me sound like Greg Wallace.
God.
Have you got a little person in your house that you ignore?
Fun fact. For Christmas, my mum brought over a Greg Wallace cookbook, and she gave it to me, unwrapped. Gave it to me, and I was like, "Why would I want this?" And she's like, "Well, I don't want it. Burn it."
I'm not having this in the house anymore.
You have it. Aye.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. So what have you done with it?
I'm not quite sure. I've not dealt emotionally with everything that I heard.
The thing is, he's not a cook, he's not a chef, he's just a greengrocer.
No, he just wrote the foreword. So part of me is like, maybe I should give it a flick through, but then his face is staring at you on the cover. And
tear that page out, the forward bit, and then, you know, like they do in horror films where they scribble out the eyes on photos. Just do that.
Or, you know, when you've newly conquered a territory and you just deface it.
That's right. It's what the Visigoths would have done. Yeah. Jokes for nobody. Jokes for Joe, basically. Right, anyway.
That jokes goes out to all the Ostrogoths.
Indeed it does, yeah. Faisal says, but my dad goes to masjid. What if he's in the masjid when it does it? Has your dad ever bought a Jaffa orange? Because he's buying nukes for Israel. Jaffa oranges were developed by Arab farmers in the mid-19th century. The variety takes its name from the city of Jaffa, where it was first produced for export. The Jaffa is cultivated in Israel, Palestine, Cyprus, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Turkey. So no, not specifically nukes for Israel. Again, it's just Barry getting he's got an answer for everything, hasn't he?
Did you find out whether it was a biscuit or not still?
It's a
didn't even
cake.
think to do that. It was called Jaffa Cake, innit? So, and again, you know the story about that. That's so it avoids the biscuit tax.
Exactly.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, why not? But
How
I
did
don't
get
feel
away with
comfortable eating a full packet of cakes. I'm quite happy eating a full packet of biscuits.
Jafar cakes.
Jafar cakes, you know the bad guy out of
Yep, that guy.
out of Aladdin and the biscuit lamp. I don't know. I'm thought this through. The boys arrive at Robin Hood Airport and say they've been sent for special training in Somalia. Barry's having none of it. Omar says that they've got an emir to go ahead. Hassan's filming the whole thing. Hassan's filming everything, by the way.
Everything.
On
Yeah.
this, as if it's not bad
he's
enough.
perfectly happy to be behind the
Yeah, he is
camera,
like the documentarian of this whole thing.
Yep.
He says he's been tested. Barry made him put a bean up the end of his knob.
He maybe do the
The
bean,
bean thing. What bean thing? You know, where you put a bean up the end of your knob, and it's kind of what?
What are you
Hassan
doing,
tells
Barry?
them they can get a van from his dad's clothes factory, and he says, "Oh, so you wouldn't nick a van from your dad then?" He's like, "Yeah." It's just quite the thing. They leave him at the airport. By the way, Hassan is played by Arsher Ali, who I love. Arsher Ali. I think I saw him in Line of Duty, series of Line of Duty,
yes, I've
and
seen him
he's from
Oh, I
Nottingham.
recognise
He's from
him.
Nottingham. He's a Forest fan. He's Dick
okay.
Older at Forest. Bedtime at Omar's, and he's telling the story to his kid, which I've written down somewhere, but I've not written it here.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah, well, Simba had to bring it down, otherwise it would kill them. So he grabbed a stone and he chucked it at the bird. Only he chucked it so hard, it was such a strong, powerful throw, that his arm went all the way around and the stone went right behind him. He threw it so hard it went a mile behind him. And it hit Mufasa. Wise, strong Mufasa, Simba's dad. It accidentally hit him on the head and killed him. And what I love about that is just the realisation as he's saying it. Wise, strong Mufasa.
Yeah, it's basically the story of him being
Coming
shit.
to terms.
Killing
Yeah.
killing the
Covering
chick.
himself.
Next day, Omar says he's spoken to the Emir on party puffing. Waj, I've been on that, it's proper good. And Omar's response is, good, Waj. Like, it's just like a dog. Like he's a dog. Omar, he's just passively supportive of him. Like but again, I don't know if he's just going, yeah, whatever, Waj. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to take Faisal's bleach to the flat. And Omar gets upset, and I've written down the line. He says, we have instructions to bring havoc to all this bullshit, consumerist, godless, bashing, Gordon Ramsay, taste the difference, specialty cheddar, torture endorsing, massacre sponsoring, look at me dancing, piss with my knob out, Sky One uncovered, who gives a fuck about dead Afghanis, Disneyland.
It's a lot in it.
And you're like, I've got about a third of that, and I do feel radicalised. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do.
But I love Gordon Ramsay just being in the middle of that.
Yeah,
It's
taste
just a
the
list.
difference, specialty cheddar. I'm like, oh, I could go a bit of that with some breads. Some biscuits. Barry says they're going to bomb the mosque, and that will radicalise the moderates. He says, no, I like it. And again, I've had to write this down verbatim from the script. I do like that. It's brilliant. Let's take out a bunch of Muslims, because they're the real enemy, aren't they, Barry? Once we've done that, why don't we chuck a bomb at a kebab shop or fly a jumbo jet into Wadji's mum's head? Why don't we get a pig and staple gun it onto our foreheads? Faisal wants to bomb Boots because they sell condoms that make you want to bang white girls, which, again, is constantly in my vernacular. You know, it's something I think about all the time. 160 million condoms sold every year in the UK. 12 Boots ultra safe condoms, $6.99. There you go. You can't put a price on not getting gonorrhea, I guess.
Yeah, you get it for free at the gum clinic, big man. That's where I got mine.
Omar
That one is
suggests
It's nice foreshadowing. Nice foreshadowing.
very
this,
much
'cause
so.
He says, Omar says, I think a bit bigger than a chemist. I'm not getting my guts spilled out over a bunch of tampons and cotton buds.
That's right, yeah. Oh, yeah, well spotted. Yeah. Omar suggests bombing the mosque is like being in a fight and punching yourself in the face. Omar starts slapping Barry, and Barry punches himself in the face. He bombed the mosque. Where are the moderates, Barry? Oh, here they come out of your nose as his nose is bleeding. He storms out, but he headbutts Faisal on the way out, even though he's just trying to help him. I've got
brutal.
J-cloth for you. Which I quite like.
J-Cloth.
J-Cloth from a brand name.
Oh,
Johnson
right.
& Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't know that before.
No, absolutely not. Later, Waj and Hassan are dancing to Arg Kar Diari Bai by Dr. Zeus featuring hot and sizzling Yana Gupta. I mean, that sounds like I've
What
just
an
made
entrance.
that up. Didn't chart, wasn't released as a single, I'm pretty sure. Their cover is that they're a band, and that's why they have the loud music on, which doesn't explain why there's a female vocalist at all. Barry tells Wadge to do anti-surveillance, so they're both shaking their heads so that pics come out blurry. Omar isn't impressed. Next time Barry tells you to do something, don't. We meet Alice downstairs. And she's, again, this character, not really a character, and kind of unnecessary, other than, I guess we've got to have another female character in here.
Yeah.
It sort of advances the plot a little bit because they get sort of slightly rumbled later, but I think it's more that I feel like I know somebody like this.
Yeah.
It's just a Sheffield lass. It's essentially her role.
And their cover is they're in a band, and she says, I used to be in a band till all the birds fell off the roof. Do you remember that? And they're like, no.
No.
Barry's doing his own jihadi video, claiming to have bombed the mosque. The lads disturb him, and he's like, no, I didn't say bomb the mosque, I said bomb the Moss Bros. Which is the soup shop we've done before in another episode.
Yeah, Moss Brothers. No doing it.
And Hassan walks in and he's like, yeah, well, isn't the whole point of this to blame it on the kuffar and not take responsibility?
That's right. Yeah. At Omar and Sophia's, Omar's brother, Ahmed, I think it's Ahmed, comes in. And he's here, but he won't come into the living room as there's a woman in there. He says, have you come to drop fatwas because we've just had the carpet cleaned? Is great. It's a great line. Fatwa is a religious ruling of opinion issued by an Islamic scholar or mufti. It's usually in response to a question posted by a Muslim concerning Islamic law or doctrine and is not legally binding. The word comes from the Arabic root FTY, which means to decide or to give an opinion. He tells them he knows what the boys are planning and that it's not fair. The kid gets in with a water pistol and they have a water pistol battle and he leaves soaked. At the flat, Wadge is making bombs in tea light, like old tea light holders, which I quite liked. Barry's making this nail bomb, by the way. I mean, it's not even a nail bomb; it's like a bolt bomb, isn't it?
It's a bolt bomb,
and he's naming each of these bolts: Jew, sodomite, gynecologist,
businessman.
yeah, innocent bloke. Doesn't exist. And then the last one, which is when something else is going on, he goes, Leonard Cohen.
What?
What has Leonard Cohen done to you?
Just loves lists.
Yeah,
Non sequiturs and lists.
Right.
It just works.
Faisal asks Barry if blowing themselves up is their own choice. Omar says it's absolutely your own choice. Up on the moors, Faisal is with Brother Crow in his bomb vest. He points to this birdhouse and he's like, see that? That's a sex shop, US Embassy or other utility. You fly to that, I dial the number and you go to heaven. We don't see that far. Brother Crow, I assume, pecks the bomb vest and just blows up.
And blows to smithereens. So the military used bird bombs back in World War II.
Oh, right.
So that was a thing.
They also tried to get Castro that way.
Was that Joseph Starling?
Oh, very swift, very swift.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So I double checked. So they created the bombs. Everything was all ready, but they never actually got to use them. But they were all prepped and ready to go.
Wow.
Those bird bombs.
Wow.
So
Hey,
it was a thing.
easy. It's good.
Did they have a little bomber jacket made out of a fag packet as well?
Literally a bomber jacket. Yeah. At the flat, Hassan's organising his bombs, and there's this bit where he just goes, "No, I won't resit my media studies, Mrs. Thistle." Okay.
From the screenplay of it, it looks like he's supposed to be like ex-public school.
Oh, right.
Which I don't get a feeling of at all from the film.
No, but his dad's obviously
But I
got a
think
business.
Yeah,
So
he's obviously
perhaps it's
loaded,
there.
which is why they want him.
Yeah.
But I think it's likely that they're all supposed to be sort of types of people, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Aye.
That
So he's the type
makes
that's
a bit more sense.
kind of compensating for the wrong
I
thing.
get that.
Sort of.
Wadge, Barry, and Faisal are out with this microwave full of explosives. And Wadge says, "Drop that, brother Faisal, and we'll be baked beans all the way to Derby," which I kind of like the reference. 47.3 miles, city centre to city centre. There you go.
Why are the fireworks going off? Do we know?
I'm going to assume it's bonfire night.
As you would.
When's the London Marathon run?
Oh.
Because it's London man they're doing, isn't it?
Not sure, but I think over like the early summer.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Oh. Do you know something we
So,
don't?
yeah, in the screenplay, and this is proper Chris Morris. Like, it's for the opening of a new shopping centre, so it's for like what Meadowhall is supposed to be.
Right.
For that opening, although I don't think it's ever said.
Well, no, it's not mentioned
And
at all. No.
And it's such a bleak thing, isn't it? Everybody's celebrating because of this.
Yeah, and they're
it's new
using that
shopping
as
centre.
cover for blowing up a microwave.
Yeah. The Matsui.
Oh, he's Matsui. And Omar's furious because it's his Matsui microwave. He's had that one for years.
Going
Not happy
out.
at all. Matsui, gentlemen, it no longer exists. Of course.
It doesn't.
But I found a 900-watt vintage one on eBay for $69.99. There you go.
I wasn't familiar with this. We never had one. But apparently it was introduced in the 1980s by Currys as a brand for its consumer electronic goods assembled in the United Kingdom using imported components.
Ooh.
And it was supposed to sound Japanese, but wasn't.
Oh, really?
Oh, right.
So it
Okay.
involved neither Japanese parts nor Japanese labour, but was branded with a Japanese-sounding name, a rising sun symbol, and the motto, Japanese technology made perfect.
Oh.
Which is ballsy lies, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Fucking hell.
And yet
Surely
everyone's
Japanese
perfect,
technology
so.
is pretty much perfect. You know?
Yeah, I know. Nobody would have bought it if it was like Robinsons or Stepek or something like that. Just doesn't sound right, does it?
Sony.
Sony.
Yeah. They head back to the flat. Why didn't you call me Wadge? And he says, I had no credit, which is very timely.
That's
like,
very,
you wouldn't
that's
get
very
that now, I
good,
don't think.
Nah.
I don't even think you would really get it then. Like, it's 2009.
Yeah,
no,
you're maybe at the back
I think
end
it was
of it,
still a
aren't
thing.
you? When you look, it's not a lot of
Yeah.
smartphones in this.
Because I remember having it, and I had back then. So that's perfect timing. So popular phones back in 2010 were the iPhone 3GS, which I did have, iPhone 4, Samsung Galaxy S, BlackBerry Storm, and the BlackBerry Curve. But yeah, round about the GS, I'm sure I
BlackBerry.
had.
I sold so many BlackBerry Curves. So
I
many
hated
of those.
BlackBerry. Hated the BlackBerry. I
Yeah.
used to try and have to fix
Yeah.
it.
Mate, the amount that we booked in at
No.
Carphone Warehouse in Edinburgh. More on mobile phones later on. They head back to the flat. Hassan and Alice are dancing around to Dancing in the Moonlight. I'll do the Dancing in the Moonlight thing later if that's all right, lads, but I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah.
Around them's all this bomb-making paraphernalia. Omar tells Alice it's time for her to leave. She decides because it's gay, some of the stuff she says. And she's not into it. She says, you lot aren't my friends anymore. And it's a really not nice kind of turn for this
Yeah.
character who isn't a character.
Yeah.
Omar tells Hassan he's going to have to kill Alice, cut her head off and bring it back in a bucket. Not really, but we might as well call the cops and dob ourselves in. But they do have to move the stuff to Barry's allotment, which is what you say, James, is the next move on the show. He makes a phone with his fingers here, and he says, hello, is that Gaza? Omar would love to help, only he's really busy wiping up fountains of shit, spraying out the arses of useless fuck my auntie from a standing position, pyjama-wearing cockerel dicks. And Wadge's response, who was on the phone?
It's
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. In Barry's car, he's speeding over these speed bumps, and they've all got carrier bags full of the bomb stuff. The car stalls and comes to a stop. Did you fix this, Barry? He says, yeah, but it's the parts. They're Jewish. What parts? Spark plugs. Jews invented spark plugs to control global traffic.
I've got something on this.
Have you? Why?
Siegfried
It's not
Marcus.
real.
No, it is real. So Sigrid Marcus was widely considered the original inventor of the motor car, but history wiped them out or erased them because of the German extraction of Austria in 1938. So apparently a Jew is meant to have invented the car.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, I meant about the global traffic thing.
Oh, that's all right.
Absolutely not.
That's not true.
Spark plugs are a device for delivering electric current from an ignition system to a combustion chamber of a spark ignition engine to ignite the compressed fuel air mixed with an electric spark whilst containing combustion pressure within the engine. £17.22 for 4 that will fit my Audi. There you go. On Amazon. The spark plug was invented in 1860 by Etienne Lenoir, used as an electric spark plug in his gas engine, the first internal combustion piston engine Lenoir is generally credited with the invention of the spark plug. He is Belgian French and not Jewish. Early patents for the spark plug were made by Nicholas Tesla. There you go.
Oh, wee Nick.
Who unfortunately now most people know because he's got the same name as a fucking electric car.
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely nothing to do with it. Just took the name. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
and
What a prick.
David Bowie maybe.
Aye. Aye. Huge Ackman.
Huge Ackman indeed.
Ackman.
They take to walking. Barry explains that they need to run in a particular way to the allotment. Matt spots them and talks to them about the type of run. They're squat jogs, says Omar, which he then starts doing because they work backwards.
I thought these were fake, but it turns out people actually do them.
Oh, do they really? Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know because this must have inspired it because it just looks ridiculous.
It
But
does.
people are talking about it. It's good for
The
the
screenplay describes it perfectly as trying to run like a Steadicam operator. It just nails it. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is. They make it to the allotment, all but Faisal, who they spot running over the fields, and they're all kind of shouting him and calling him on. He hurtles the wall, falls, and gets what, John?
Blammo!
He gets blammoed indeed. Yeah.
But later on they say that he fell over a sheep, which he didn't.
He doesn't
just fell
know,
over the
no,
wall.
but I guess that's a little
But-
harder to film.
I looked up people who had died due to sheep, and it turns out a 29-year-old sheep shearer got kicked by a sheep and dropped the cutter thing and nicked his neck and cut his main
Oh,
artery
hey,
and died.
that's
So,
like something out of Final Destination. Isn't
Exactly, aye. What a way to go.
it? It's like a mousetrap thing. There's a guy falls into the thing. Anyway,
There's
yeah.
other ones where like motorcyclists have ran over sheep and crashed and obviously died, but that one was the one that was like, oh, that's
That
Final
one stands
Destination.
out in your mind.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty the thing. So Omar arrives and they hand him the bin bag with Faisal's remains in it. Barry says it's a martyr's death. He disrupted the infrastructure. How? He blew up a sheep and took out the food supply. There's some in there with him as well. So what is he? Is he a martyr or a jalfrezi? Omar blames Barry. Wad says his plan is to blow something up. The internet. He says, no, you're not a Muhajid, Waj. You're a fucking idiot. Do you think a Muhajid gives a loony's broken fuck about rubber Dingy Rapids? Do you think he got his dean from a book called The Cat Who Went to Mecca? A book he can't even finish because it's too fucking advanced for him? I tell you what, bro, I've got a plan for you. Why don't you go with Psycho Baloo and Piss Jet Bagheera and go and lose yourself in the forest, right? And you can all sit around the campfire shoving grenades up your cocks and then blow up the internet by jumping out of a tree, arse first onto a laptop.
It's also just so fucking bleak, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the bit where Faisal dies,
That's,
whole scene sequence is just like rock bottom. It's where it gets real, isn't it?
Oh,
They're
absolutely,
actually out
because
to kill people.
you
It's
don't
dangerous.
think it's actually going to happen at any point in the film.
Yeah.
And then it
no.
does. And then it absolutely does.
Chris Morris.
Yeah, well, yeah, if anyone's going to fucking do it, it's him.
Father.
Walking back through the park, Ahmed and a bunch of his friends are playing football in the rain with their umbrellas up. It's quite
Umbrellas,
sweet.
aye.
Yeah. yeah.
Omar asks him
Like
for
Bend it like
advice.
Beckham, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. But gives up because Ahmed's really supercilious. That night, Omar's on puffin party and Sophia gets up. He gets her up to date and she said it must be God's plan. It can't be God's plan to leave the lads with Barry, can it? You know, you were much more fun when you were going to blow yourself up.
True that.
Hassan's puffin won't talk to me. Wadger's puffin told me to piss off. Barry's puffin turned all red and is hiding under a pirate hat.
Yeah, what is that?
Weird functionality on Puffin Party.
Nabil gets up and has this line about he'll be in heaven before his head hits the ceiling. And I was like, that is, again, Chris Morris to a fucking T, that. It really is grim. Omar heads in to see Matt for more time off, and he's stressing because he's been sent an upside-down clown outfit for the London Marathon. Can you even run in an upside-down clown? What? I didn't even know it was a thing, and look what they've sent me. It's great. Matt explains that they released a video of Faisal blowing up a crow. It's not jihadi, is it, blowing up a crow? He says, no, it's cultural. We bazookaed an ostrich at a wedding.
Wedding? Brilliant.
It's lovely.
At the flat, Omar says the cops are onto them because Faisal's head fell out of a tree onto a dog. Barry, good. Dogs contradict Islam. The Quran says, gentlemen of animals, lawful for you are all good things, including what trained dogs and falcons catch for you. You train them according to God's teachings. You may eat what they catch for you, and mention God's name thereupon. However, they're not allowed to be kept in the house, and their saliva is considered impure. There you go.
Which it is.
I guess so, yeah.
I was only gone for a minute there,
Yeah.
and my dog took it didn't take a shit, it took a piss on a box. Just out of the blue.
What?
Is it impure as anything?
See, when you convert to Islam, he's going to have to stay outside.
He's out immediately. Yeah. It's starting to make sense. There's also a bit on the tram as well when he's heading in, and you just get this. There's a screen behind him with the news on it, with a ticker tape, and it's like Asian man's head found in tree or something like that. Yeah.
It's good. The tram, James, I wrote something down and sent it to you, and you went, the tram? Like you'd never been so insulted by me just calling it the tram.
The tram.
Yeah, super tram.
Wow, super tram.
Super trams. It stands for super delayed tram.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Gentlemen, Supertramp's biggest hit was the Logical Song from the album Breakfast in America. Massive, John. 19 in the Stupid Sexy Flanders Ultra Pop. 13 where, John?
The Netherlands. I didn't think you were going to squeeze one in.
I was squeeze one in or out. 12 in West Germany. 3 in the fucking prawn Citrica. Gold here, France and Italy. Platinum in Canada, eh? There you go. I'd say that's got them all.
Sorry, Aye.
Omar suggests that they can run the London Marathon in costume. There'll be loads of cameras. Omar apologises to Waj, who explains that Barry made him do things in the woods, weeing in his own mouth. Meanwhile, we see riot vans in the street getting ready to storm the flat.
Yeah.
I'd never make you wiggle in your mouth.
Oh man, the dialogue around there is grim.
Yeah. And again, rubber Dingy Rapids, bro.
The police, probably South Yorkshire Police's firearms support group. So every area sort of has its own. That's South Yorkshire's. South Yorkshire Police, also notorious for the 1984 Battle of Orgreave.
Yes, yeah.
Where it fabricated evidence, carried out false arrests on assaulted miners. The 1989 Hillsborough disaster, where they were found to have diverted blame away from their own mishandling of the tragedy with feeding false information to the media and altering statements. The sex abuse scandals of, I want to say, 2013, where it was found not to have attempted prosecution of a number of people. And in 2016, it was reported that 2 serving police officers, a pilot serving with the National Police Air Service, and 2 retired police officers who crewed the South Yorkshire Police helicopter, were accused to stand trial of misusing the camera by filming people naked or having sex, including one couple, I remember, that waved back to the camera.
Credit to them.
Man.
Continue swimming naked. Yeah. Oh, wow, fantastic. And note, dear listener, each and every one of those incidents happened with a Conservative government in charge in the UK. So,
Yes.
Is what it is. What it is. It's all to be expected. When you did the first 2, I thought, that's it. I can blame Thatcher for this. But of course, it's inherent in the system. Of course it is. So Hassan said, "Let's blow up a load of fit slags at the marathon." Come on, Barry. Lions. We're 4 lions.
Winner.
Yeah, Omar wins the movie, John. Yeah.
Exactly.
They get in the van, and Omar stops at the hospital to tell Safir he's taking his team to the top floor. Oh. On this, I've actually missed a bit, because at this bit when they're shouting, this is the bit where Wad shouts, "Fuck Minnie Baby Bell."
Yeah.
And I think
but we also get that. This is so good. I think it was an improvised line as well.
Oh, was it really? Right, okay, good. Yeah.
The other thing about that is that you see the armed police break in.
Yeah.
Obviously not into where they've gone and raided the study group.
Yes.
Yeah.
They find like the water pistol from before as well.
Oh, I didn't spot that. They've got the water. So he took the water pistol with him. Fucking hell! Right. Oh, good spot.
And there's also like a closet with like so three very surprised Muslim-looking ladies
So
cramped
there's
together.
the bit where they
having
come round
food.
the house, and he says, you know, you make them go in a cupboard, and he went, it's not a cupboard, it's a small room, and says it was a toilet until you took the china out. It was a bathroom until you took the china out, and that's obviously
That must be it.
the understair cupboard. Fucking hell.
The Harry Potter room.
Yeah, like your downstairs toilet, John, at the back of the dining room.
I mean, it's a moral maze, this, isn't it? Because they're trying to talk them out of violence.
Yeah.
They're obviously very conservative themselves. So it's all very multi-layered
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going
mind
on.
maze stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. In the van, the lads are listening to prayers on the stereo. Smash cut to the day, and they're singing Toploader's Dancing in the Moonlight, because you've got to get your money's worth out of
Oh, good night.
and we're in London.
Barry's not impressed.
I say
Barry's
we're
not
in
impressed.
London. Debts building, which you see right behind. I think it's Wadges running past the building.
There's a bit that's around the railway arches in Woolwich.
Oh, is it really?
So I've got famous people from Woolwich.
Oh, go.
Facts. General Gordon from Cartoon. Future episode.
Yes.
No, probably not. Glenn Tilbrook, guitarist of Squeeze,
Yeah.
comes from Woolwich. And Boy George, foreshadowing.
Oh, foreshadowing for Boy George at the very, very end. Yeah, absolutely. Dancing in the Moonlight, written by two first-name wanker Sherman Kelly for his band Boffo Longo in 1970. Nope, me either. Strap in, lads. From his own words, on a trip to LaCroix in 1969, I was the first victim of a vicious St. Croix gang who eventually murdered 8 American tourists. At that time, I suffered multiple facial fractures and wounds and was left for dead. While I was recovering, I wrote Dancing in the Moonlight, in which I envisioned an alternate reality, the dream of a peaceful and joyful celebration of life. Sure.
Wow. Jesus.
Covers by King Harvest, Swedish producer Jubel, and of course this version by Table of Unbearable Posh Loud Student Cunts in your local quiet pub, Toploader. 53 in the Swiss Toblerone chart, 52 where, James?
The Netherlands.
There you go. Yeah, work on the accent, will you? Yeah, good. 24 in New Zealand prison. Work on the accent, says me. Fucking hell. There's a bit of fucking front.
Why don't you just do accents for all of them? I'm sure those won't be problematic.
7 in Ireland, so it is. And another inexplicable number 1, John, in Poland.
Where those Polish, crazy Polish?
The Polska
crazy,
polka.
fancy Polish.
What can I say? Yeah. So they've all got their outfits. Hassan's got the upside down clown. Barry is Raphael, the mutant turtle. Omar's the honey monster. And Wadge is Bernie Clifton and his comedy ostrich.
Oh, and this ostrich, yeah, which I thought was the best one.
Yeah, it was. It's the one you want
In the
to run.
screenplay, it's supposed to be a sexy ostrich, and I'm guessing they could not find
Sexy
one.
ostrich. Ooh la
It's
la.
more a comedy ostrich, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is, yeah. Wadge is having second thoughts, and Omar tells him, listen to your heart. His heart says, don't do it. Omar convinces him that his brain and heart are confused. Follow your heart. Just then a cop comes up. He looks at Hassan and says, you can't run in that, can you? And he's absolutely shitting it. He says, oh, you're going to die in that gear, lads. And they're like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's all for a good cause, though. And again, it's good. Hass panics and runs at the cop. Help, I'm accidentally a suicide bomber. It's a mistake. I'm real, but not anymore. I've got bomb, but it's not going to go off. Barry has a different plan, though, and explodes him.
Because I like the policeman's like, you're real, but you're not. I don't understand.
No, that was the last thing he said.
Another bit around here. So Omar tells Wadge that his head is his heart.
Yeah.
And he says that it's been mixed up by shaitan, which is an Arabic word referring to an evil spirit or genie. In Islamic tradition, the shaitan is a jinn or spirit that tempts humans or other jinn to sin by whispering to their hearts. According to the hadith, during Ramadan, they're said to be chained in hell.
Wow. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Keep them there. That's what I say.
Whispering to people's hearts or heads.
Heads and hearts. Barry explains that Omar's done this. He's going to kill Wadge with his instructions. You killed the special needs donkey.
Oh, that's a phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've tomatoed your friend.
Yes, tomatoed your friend. Omar
Who told him his cup was his ring piece?
Omar finds himself. Wadge finds himself cornered in kebabish. Any of you lads do anything, and we're all baked beans. There's a lot of references to beans in this film.
There really is.
The
Yeah.
sixth or seventh.
Kebabish as well in the near the Wicker Archers in Sheffield.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I used to get the bus that went straight through the Wicker Archers.
Why, James? Why must films lie to us? There's some sharpshooters on the roof. One of them's the actor Kevin Eldon, and he's told to shoot a bear. He shoots a Wookiee. We've got the whole: is a Wookiee a bear? No. The honey monster, is the honey monster a bear? You know, blah blah blah. We got that.
Well, it must be the target because I just shot it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the Metropolitan Police. Doesn't it?
Job done.
At Kebabish, Wadger's got this table full of food. I'll just finish this and we'll all be off to the top floor. It's fucking brilliant. It's such a big table of food as well. Just then Omar calls. He says, I got hostages like Xbox Counter-Strike, but they're all brothers. That still counts for points, right? Like Nectar Card. Omar makes him send them all but one out and tells him he's confused. He takes a photo of his face and he says, no, it's not my confused face. I'll text it to you. How can he do that? He's not got any credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just then, Barry shows up, grabs Omar's phone and eats the SIM card. And when he starts choking on it, this bloke comes along to give him the Heimlich manoeuvre, and they both get exploded.
Presses his button.
Catch the
Heimlich manoeuvre facts.
Oh yes, yeah.
So, first aid procedure, as we all know, used to treat upper airway obstructions or choking by foreign objects. It's credited to Harry Heimlich from about 1974, and from there, that was what I knew. Everything around that point seems to be fabricated by Mr. Heimlich.
Oh, wow.
It sounds like he is a proper card, is one way of putting it. So I think he said that he could do other stuff, and there was no proof that he could do other stuff.
Wow.
I have seen people using the Heimlich manoeuvre, and it does work, so I know it works for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he also claimed to have used his namesake manoeuvre to rescue a choking victim for the first time on 2016, when he was the age of 96, reportedly saving the life of a fellow resident of his senior living community, Patty Reese. However, in 2003, he told the BBC that he'd used it for the first time on a man choking in a restaurant. His son, Peter M. Heimlich, said both rescues were, and I quote, bogus. So he's just,
what? He was just made shit up.
he invented it. All credit to the guy, and now he's just taking the piss out of people, trolling people at this retirement place, whatever.
That's fantastic.
What a man!
Yeah,
Hope no one remember.
All the other stuff that he could do was usually swap your heart for your head. He was very good at that as well, like an evil djinn.
Yeah.
Kebabish, Wadge's phone rings. It's Ed from Special Branch, old Cumber Snatch.
And
Wadge thinks he's calling from Orange. He asks his demands. I don't have any. It's very sweet. Omar heads into Phones for You. Gentlemen, remember Phones for You?
Yeah, remember them?
To get a new SIM card. Yeah, I had an interview with Phones for You once. It did not go well. I was not their kind of salesperson. I was always a bit more...
Did you have to remember the hand signals?
Yeah, I think I might have ended up doing that to somebody. It was really, really hard selling, kind of like dragging people in off the streets kind of stuff. I was at Carphone Warehouse at the time and there wasn't any of that. In 1987, John Caldwell and his brother Brian created the Heimlich manoeuvre. Founded Midlands Mobile Phones, a wholesaler and distributor of mobile phones. The company became the Caldwell Group. In 2006, the Caldwell Group was sold for a sum of £1.47 billion. In April 2012, Phones for You contract with Provider 3 was terminated. In January 2014, O2 ended their contract with Phones for You. On 15th September 2014, Phones for You had entered administration after the two remaining suppliers, E and Vodafone, terminated their contracts. They probably had to go through a lot of different departments to get those contracts terminated, I assume, as I've answered previously. That's
Phones for no one.
They know it no longer exists. Yeah.
I love this because it's very modern life stuff. What kind of call plan would you like? We've got the Labrador, the Dragon. How about the Hermit Crab?
1800 free text.
Yes.
Back in those days, I would have loved 1800 free text. That'd be right.
Oh God, aye.
So I don't like having phone calls.
It's like a nothing number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day that the openable, one of the new openable phones, like the foldy thing, has been tested for like 200 opens, and I was like, that doesn't sound like a lot.
No, do that in a day.
In the context of
easily.
Jesus Christ.
Remember when you used
for
to
the
get
first bit of opening and closing it because it looks like a crab or something.
Yeah, just have a look. Remember when you bought a phone plan and didn't even think about data? It was all about your minutes.
There's no such thing as data.
Didn't even think about the little get your WAP and all that. Well, don't need WAP.
Hey, you leave my wet ass pussy out of this. Ed asks Wadge why he's doing it, and he says it's for the rubber Dingy Rapids. He says, "Do you like girls?" He's like, "Yeah, I like." I bet you're a breast man. Yeah, he says, "Yeah, and I like a fit arse." "Oh, you're an arse man, Wadge, an arse man." And he's like, "You're giving me batty chirps," and he hangs up. Bloody boy George, which again, I mean, it's. I remember the time when the only homosexual man I knew, not knew, but as a kid, was Boy George. I assume he was homosexual at the time, but he was certainly he certainly wore makeup and wore women's clothes. But at one point in my life, when I'd have been a child, he was the only homosexual man I was aware of.
Oh, the guy for Are You Being Served?
Yeah, but no, I don't think at any point,
I did. I did.
Well, no, I just certainly thought he was just a camp ladies man. But it's such a reference from I would have thought like that at the age of 6 in 1986. This is 2009. It's such an old reference.
True.
It's not even written by an old
Only
man.
other person in that part of Sheffield I think they could name.
Yes, yeah. Well, of course, yeah.
The only other gay people in Sheffield at that point were these two guys for Phil Monty, is it not?
Oh, yeah, the ginger lad and his mate. Yeah,
and his
absolutely.
mate.
Wadge hands the kebab shop owner the vest. "You'll blow up the kafur." He says, "There's no kafur here. You're confused. You look confused." And he does actually look confused.
He really does.
Outside, he runs into Matt. Outside the phone shop, Omar runs into Matt, who's doing the run, and he uses his phone, telling him he's MI5 and that he's undercover against, wait for it listeners, Fathers for Justice, who have teamed up with the real IRA.
And it's like, fucking hell.
Wow.
Real of the time reference.
Again, but he says it's really serious stuff. He calls Wadge and he tells him to give himself up. Just then, the cops storm the shop and kill the owner, because obviously he's the one with the vest.
He's the one with it, right?
Which is really unfortunate. And Wadge says, "Sorry lads, I don't know what I'm doing." And then you get an external shot, the explosion and the smoke coming out from under the shutter, which is quite a good way to do that.
Yep.
Omar tells Matt to tell them I was smiling, it could be important. And he walks into the pharmacy. And this is the best explosion we get. This is the one where all the money goes
proper.
to.
Yeah.
And then we get the credits. There's this bloke, he's going, "This shipping container is in RAF Mildenhall. The base is in US jurisdiction, and the container is Egypt, the sovereign nation of Egypt." And he's questioning Ahmed, saying, we know more than he realises. RAF Mildenhall, Bury St Edmunds. There was loads of history. You could organise a tour, but it looks like you probably have to go through a lot of security checks. And we've just done a podcast on Islamic,
And you know what? No reference in there anywhere to this film. That's got to change.
No, it's not mentioned at all. Maybe they don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe no one's told them.
That's a point.
Matt's being interviewed. He believes Omar was with MI5 because he told him that. And then this news report shows Osama bin Laden being blown up by the rocket that Omar fires.
We also get the MP again. The report makes crystal clear that the police shot the right man, but as far as I'm aware, the wrong man exploded.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Perfect. And that's the movie. John, what you got?
Right, so God, I've got loads. Optimum Releasing was a theatrical home entertainment distributor founded in 1999, currently owned by Studio Canal. Wild Bunch AG is a German film distributor company originally created in 1979 as Senator Films. Film 4 launched in November 1998, which I thought was a lot earlier, but wasn't it? Milk floats still exist, but there's less of them. The first London Marathon was held in 1981. More than 20,000 people wanted to run, but only 7,747 were accepted. The iPhone was released on 29th of June 2007, and UK merged with T-Mobile UK in 2010 to form EE. That's all I got.
Excellent. James?
I've got a few. So going back to the AK-47, I didn't do the obvious stuff. I did that it features on the flag of Mozambique.
Oh, wow.
I think it also it features on the coat of arms of East Timor, but I don't know if that's current or not. Zimbabwe and Revolution era Burkina Faso, as well as in the flags of Hezbollah, Syrian Resistance, FARC, something called the New People's Army, I'm not sure which one that is, and the International Revolutionary People's Guerrilla Forces. You could also go to the Kalashnikov Museum. Wouldn't that be fun? Nice fun trip.
Nice.
Get yourself on a bus to Izhvek Udmurk Republic in Russia. Maybe not right now. The city is in the Ural region of Russia. There's a shooting range in the cellar, and apparently, according to TripAdvisor, you need a passport and a driver's license to shoot. Wow. Thank God it's just those two.
Absolutely.
Not anymore.
The New People's Army, I think, was one of Prince's later bands.
MI5 as well, one of 19 MI sections, military intelligence, responsible for counter-espionage and military policy and dealing with civil population. Of the 19 sections, number 13 and 18 have not been publicly used, which probably means aliens.
Oh yeah, aliens.
I don't know if that counts as a fact.
If you're watching the video of this, James did the aliens hand movement thing there as well.
Fathers for Justice, a fathers' rights organisation founded in 2003. In May 2005, campaigners dressed up as superheroes and protested on top of the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield during the World Snooker Championship. Many stunts like that did not help them at all.
No.
In 2012, they staged a naked protest outside the Oxford Street branch of Marks and Spencer's in order to protest the shop's advertising on parenting website Mumsnet, which Fathers for Justice believes promotes gender hatred. So that's the trajectory they're going down these days.
Yeah, Andrew Tate has given them
group.
50 grand or something, probably.
Yeah, there's I shit you not, there's like a new or real Fathers for Justice now as well.
Oh my God.
So
right-wing Fathers for
maybe
Justice.
Maybe they have joined forces with the real IRA.
Yeah, but again, this film is,
the IDA, IDA, IDA.
The film had its world premiere at Sundance January the 23rd, 2010. The same day, the UK terror threat level was raised to severe due to non-specific chatter. We are a joke of a country. Pakistani desert scenes were filmed at Desertio de Tarbanas, Almira, Spain, like all the best spaghetti westerns.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I've got. That's all I've got. It does look good, yeah. It absolutely looks great, yeah. So, James, do you want to have a guess how many you think we got while I top them up?
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, I'm fairly sure I've brought like a third of 100.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say 100 again. I did this last year and I was massively wrong, but I'm gonna say because you got some of them that I would have said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 100.
Okay.
Exactly.
John, can you go higher than 100?
117.
Oh, mate, you always do. You got like 2 above what it actually is, or 3 above. It's 114. 114 things we learned from this particular film. James, thank you so much for bringing that. If, like James, you want to pick and spin the wheel, we've just spun the wheel just as James joined the meeting, and it's patron Kieran. So I'm going to put something out online so that he can see that, and Kieran, reach out to us and let us know what you want us to do in January. 100thingswithunfilm.co.uk. All of our links are on there. James, hawk your own wares again, why don't you? As if I don't do it often enough every week.
Oh man, I can't remember all the platforms we're on. I know we're on X, formerly Twitter, as Hallmark of Great.
Yeah.
I'm Jimmy Facto. I think I'm at Fake Snakery. I can't remember why I chose that. And yeah, all available.
You're on
through
Blueski.
Spotify or
You're
any
on
other-
Blueski. Joe goes on every now and
Yeah,
again to put Blueski.
Mr. Blue Sky. If you play it backwards, play that record backwards,
Yeah.
and you'll get our handle.
Play that record backwards, and a gin will come up out your drains or something. Yeah, fantastic. James, as always, it's an absolute pleasure. Let's shout out other people that aren't James, but also James, because he's top of the list there, for giving us a quid. Thank you very much. James Lee Davies, Candy from Modern Escapism, Oodles Modern Escapism, Kieran from Not Modern Escapism Anymore, Jake, lovely Rob Jones, who did some, who I did a little bit of top 5 Christmas songs thing with just before Christmas, but I was a prick and did worst 5 Christmas songs. Jen, Megan, Dale, Ali, Maria from Cult Connections, Paul from SP Film Viewers, Ian McComish, Nigel Davies, Dan and Gavin Belson from Be the Belson podcast, Aaron from Z1 podcast, Joe from Hallmark of Greatness, Biggie, Modern Escapism, Mono from Mono and Kira, Rant at the Movies, Ian Graham, Cult Connections, Gav McGill, Josh Wilson, super familiar with the Wilsons, Stig from Modern Escapism, Gadget Modern Escapism. If you want to listen to me, Oodles and Gadget and some other chaps do an Alien D&D style thing from the Aliens films, that's live on their Scorched Sheep stuff at the moment. Rachel and Phil, there you go. Thank you so much for your continued support. I am going to put on Patreon the next couple of days a special opportunity for all of you to get something extra for what you're paying for. So again, watch your inbox, that'll be coming there. I want every single person to message me a film that they want me to do a little mini episode on, and I'll do that myself. Very, very mini episode, very micro episode. So yeah, there we go. John, anything nice to say to the people as we round out another year?
Yeah, I hope you had a lovely Christmas. As I say, I hope you reached out to someone that is less fortunate yourself, because I did a couple of people, including Planty.
Oh, you're so
I'm
kind.
mate. I'm okay. But
We
no,
can't
I hope
all
you
be
had a good one.
tall
I
and
really do.
handsome.
Well, you can try. You can try. Hang upside down like a fucking bat. Kiefer Sutherland did it.
Bat!
Bat. But yeah, hopefully you had a good festive season, and New Year's just round the corner, big man. So
Lots of new plans that we have for the
kidney
podcast in the new year.
yeah, definitely.
But yep, thank you very much for your time, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. He's been John, he's been James, I've been Planty, and this has been 114 things we've learned from Fuck Mini Baby Bell. See ya.
See you guys.
Bye. Happy New Year.